Hello everyone, I'm Alicia Malone. Welcome to Fandango Indie Movie Guide. I have a couple of great suggestions for your weekend movie watching, both in theatres and at home. So let's start with a little film called Loving.
In here?
Richie!
What you doing in bed with that woman?
I'm his wife.
That's no good here.
This is directed by Jeff Nichols, who is the same guy who had Midnight Special out earlier this year. Amazing. This is based on a true story of Mildred and Richard Loving. These two ended up changing the Constitution in the 1960s because of their interracial marriage. I have to admit, when I first saw Loving, I didn't exactly love it. You know, Jeff Nichols is known for taking these big concepts and telling them in a very small way, and I knew that going in, but because he made this so much just about an ordinary marriage, I felt like I couldn't connect to it as emotionally as I wanted to. And I think I'm so used to going into these kind of movies and expecting certain beats and certain emotional cues to really get you in the spirit of things. But my second time around, I really appreciated how small he kept this movie, because by making them into just a ordinary, everyday, humdrum marriage, it actually makes it more powerful, because you think, well, why can't they have their love? Because that love is very similar to something I've experienced, rather than the kind of Hollywoodized version that could have happened. I got to sit down with my fellow Aussie Joel Edgerton to talk a little bit about Loving. Here's a snippet.
I think Jeff really understood that the way to draw people's empathy into why we shouldn't judge the private lives of any two individuals is by inviting the audience into that home and watching what they just had to do from day to day while fighting through this obstacle. So that by the time they get what they want, you feel like you know them so well. Yeah. And to not Hollywoodify the movie, I think, was a very smart choice.
And you can see more of the interview with Joel Edgerton and the rest of the cast on Fandango All Access YouTube channel this week. I'm gonna put a big awards watch over this one for Joel Edgerton and Ruth Negga in particular. I think it's the kind of movie and the kind of performances that need to be rewarded. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Is there anything you'd like me to say to the Supreme Court Justices of the United States?
Yeah. Tell the judge I love my wife.
Now to another inspiring movie, the documentary, The Eagle Huntress. This is about a 13-year-old girl living in Mongolia who wants to be an eagle hunter. And by the way, that's not hunting eagles, that's using eagles as hunting weapons. She comes from a long line of eagle hunters, 12 generations of them, but they were all men. And so I love seeing her ambition, her passion, and her drive not to let her gender or anything else get in the way of her dreams. Right now it's going to be playing in New York and LA, but slowly it'll be rolled out to other states. So if you can see it in theaters, I recommend you do that, because this happens to be one of the most beautiful looking documentaries I've seen in a long time. And another documentary suggestion, this one you can watch at home, Tickled.
Competitive endurance tickling. It was one of the strangest sports I'd seen. So I told Jane O'Brien Media I'd like to do an interview. Instead of getting a yes or no, I got this.
Association with a homosexual journalist is not something we will embrace.
Shame on you.
Little gay Kiwis. Regards, Jane O'Brien Media.
This follows New Zealand journalist David Farrier, who goes down a rabbit hole of sorts when he discovers this tickling competition. Now you might think tickling sounds pretty innocent, but trust me, this movie gets dark. There's so many twists and turns, you have no idea where it's gonna end up, and it's absolutely compelling from start to finish.
The thing that she hates the most was no. It was like a bomb went off.
Your phone number and your personal information are entirely known and subject to publication on the internet.
All hell broke loose.
And I have to put awards watch over this one as well, because this is one of the 145 documentaries that have been selected as possible Oscar nominations for Best Documentary category, and I really hope it gets in.
We're shooting a documentary.
I understand what you think you're doing.
If you want to stick your head in the blast furnace, do it.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So to recap, in theaters you can see the gentle drama Loving or the soulful documentary The Eagle Huntress. And at home, don't forget to watch Tickled, a fascinating and quite disturbing documentary. And don't forget to write in the comments below which indie films you've been watching and loving lately. I'm Alicia Malone. I'll catch you next week.